country. You don't like our flag. What makes you think that we give a damn about that? There's a million pissed off rednecks just like me. And we're all sick and tired of this bullshit on TV.
Happy Hour is a Tell It As It Is series. You may hear some profanity, things you might find offensive, but that's how I am. I have no filter and no problem telling my point of view. I don't discriminate. I'm simply an asshole to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Pappy is coming at you with episode 11. Our last episode received great viewing numbers as well as some really good feedback. So I want to thank everyone for your support so far. And I hope you're enjoying the shows as much as I enjoy making them. I do need a little bit of extra help, though. Please help me by sharing my podcast and telling your friends about my show. I need to help drive the viewer numbers up just a little bit more. We have a few more states that we need to hit in the United States until we've achieved all of them. So we're getting very, very close to that. So I do appreciate that. And I just found out that we are being approved for iHeart Radio. So I'm excited about that as well. And we are increasing our numbers on It's Pappy Hour on Facebook. So thank you for that as well. Please make sure to keep checking that from time to time. And also, don't forget to subscribe to Ryan is Pappy on YouTube, because when you do that, it will automatically let you know when I have something new coming out as well, as far as some video shows that we're going to be doing and some others. We just recently finished and uploaded our first Conspiracies with Pappy show, and the numbers are taking off, and I am so appreciative of that. Looks like that one was a good one for you guys, and I really enjoyed that. So if you haven't listened to it yet, please check it out. Conspiracies with Pappy. We talk about the Denver International Airport and a lot of the conspiracies surrounding the murals and some of the other artwork and the airport itself. And, just kind of give you a little small glimpse without spoiling it. The airport went $2 billion with a B dollars over budget, and they buried 5 buildings underground. So there's a lot of conspiracy about what that airport really is, and they're saying that it could be part of the New World Order. So check out my Conspiracies with Pappy. Listen to the show about that, and you can get some interesting information off of that. And I'm hoping that we can continue with that one by getting some more information from people on what they've experienced at that airport. So I've got some interesting topics. I've been kind of trying to research a little bit better to come up with better ideas and topics that others might be questioning, what the heck is going on kind of thing. So first one we're going to cover today is going to be, sorry about that, my phone is beeping. So R. Kelly and his fetish for young women. That's one of the things we're going to talk about. And then, and I kid you not, you can't make this one up, cousins got married and want Utah to honor it. Then we have a Chandler, Arizona school that has a MAGA, M-A-G-A, Make America Great Again protest. And then we've got one of the largest neo-Nazi groups in America has a new president. Guess what? He's black. I know, right? And then one that I'm really excited about, Star Wars Land at Disney is set to open. That's right. I know you're excited as I am. I can just feel it through the podcast. That's right. Let's see here. I did get yelled at last week because I forgot to put what was in the fruit basket. I know you guys love to hear about what Pappy has in his fruit basket. Well, this week I'm doing apples, 2 kinds. Okay, apples is my kids are on an apple craze right now. So we've got Granny Smith apples because those are my favorite. I also like pink lady apples. Those are good too. But then, of course, I've got to have the liquid apples. Angry Orchard. That's right. That's Pappy's apples. That's right. Hashtag Pappiness. Here. All right. So what's new? Right now, we've got some new things, in my Pappy world that's going on. I signed my 4-year-old up for soccer. So I'm excited about this because I played soccer as a kid, and I can remember having a lot of fun with it. But now I get to see her, and she's, out in the backyard kicking this little soccer ball around, and seems to be a natural. I'm telling you, she's probably even better than I was. And Pappy's pretty damn good. No, probably not that good. Nah, I wasn't good. Not really. I was good on the bench. Yeah. I was a good cheerleader. Yeah, enough about that. Anyways, so we're signing her up, so that's getting ready to start. So I'm really excited. Now, they were telling us that they didn't have enough coaches, so of course, Pappy is a kind-hearted soul. I volunteered myself, but I have yet to hear back from them. So live below, and I will be giving you guys soccer updates. That's right. I know you're excited about that. Alrighty, I've also been filming bits and pieces of our new program that we're doing called Adventures with Pappy. I've got a road trip planned soon, and so we're going to be doing some stuff with that. But if you want to know when it comes out, right when it comes out, you've got to be a subscriber on YouTube. Ryan is Pappy. Now, I've only got 12 subscribers on that, but yet I've got over 8,000 downloads of our show. Now, if I could just take that and turn that onto YouTube on Ryan is Pappy, boom, talk about viral. Pappy will be a household name. That's what America needs. They need to be talking about Pappy during dinner. What would Pappy do? That's right. So keep your eyes out. Keep your eyes out. We're going to have that new show coming up. Let's see here. Movie reviews. This time I really don't have any movie reviews so much to say, but I've got a TV show that I've been kind of hooked on the last little bit, and it's called The Passage. Now, you guys might remember the guy that played Zach in Saved by the Bell. He is the main character in this one, and I'm actually impressed with his acting skills because he's a FBI military kind of agent, and it's really got me hooked. I mean, because I'm all about these like vampire shows that show that we're trying to save humanity, but we end up destroying humanity by doing that. So you might want to check that out. It's a pretty good one. I think I saw it on Hulu because it's on Fox, I believe it is, and I didn't get a chance to watch it when it first came out. But I binged on it for 7 episodes, and so it was kind of cool. But this guy is a federal agent, and he's was working with a company that apparently thinks they have a cure-all for all diseases, but it actually could potentially wipe out the whole world. And so this federal agent is tasked with bringing this young girl in, and that becomes her surrogate father. And he's determined to protect her, and he realizes the bad things that are really happening for his employer and what they're really doing. So, and there's these people are kind of getting turned into vampires of some sort. So it's really interesting. So you might want to check that out. It's pretty cool. Sometimes I do like to talk about music, and this is kind of more of a rant, I guess you could say. A lot of people don't know that Pappy is pretty awesome at lip syncing music, and I get down with it with Ice Cube, and I know how to get jiggy with it. That's right. Hashtag Pappy Jiggy. That's right. But sometimes, I listen to all kinds of music. I can listen to country. I do come from the land of the Judds and Billy Ray Cyrus. I listen to country. I listen to rock. I listen to rap. Whatever. It just depends on what my attitude is for the day. And some of the rap that I like, and I'm listening to some of the rap today versus the rap when Pappy was younger. Now, when Pappy was younger, we had Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Tupac before he died, which that's a conspiracy. Maybe I'm conspiracies with Pappy. But I don't know what the hell this stuff is called today. I don't think it's called rap. I mean, there's this guy, okay, his name is Blueface. I don't know if you've ever heard this guy, but, Google it, look this guy up. Okay, first off, his face looks like a cartoon. Okay, I don't know what's with all these facial tattoos and extreme markings all over the place because it's ridiculous. But then you listen to him. Yeah, this guy says he's going to be the savior of, what was it, gangster rap? Okay. But he sounds like Mickey Mouse going through puberty. That's right, Blueface. I said you sound like Mickey Mouse going through puberty. You've got a song called Respect My Crippin'. Yeah, I don't know what that's about, but I don't even think they have a story anymore, or they don't really tell anything. And, you know, when you listen back to Ice Cube and Ice-T and NWA and all those, they actually kind of had a bit of a story, but it made sense and it sounded good versus just going, you know, they just throw all kinds of crap in there and you have no idea what the hell they're saying anymore. So I don't know. I think rap's dead now, man, but I'm still old school. I still play my 90s to early 2000s rap, and, you know, my son, it's Busted Jeeber. He doesn't know how to get jiggy with it because he doesn't understand. That's right, Bustin'. I said you don't know how to get jiggy. Like Pappy. That's right. All right, so let's get on to our topics. Okay, Pappy's kind of in a weird mood today, if you could tell. But so R. Kelly and his fetish for young women. I don't get this. So those of you that don't know who R. Kelly is, yeah, he's from the Pappy days. He's an R&B singer that's been charged with 10 counts of aggravated sexual assault. Now, in the state he's charged, okay, sexual abuse is a Class 2 felony with a sentencing range of 3 to 7 years in prison per account. So he's looking up to 70 years. Now, R. Kelly, he's really well known in the music industry. He does a lot of stuff for TV shows and movies too, but he's best known for his hit songs like I Believe I Could Fly, which was featured in Space Jam, which I just found out was 20 years ago. So yeah, that makes Pappy feel old. Bump and Grind. He was a song called Hold On, which was featured in the movie Ali. And he's done all kinds of other ones, but he began recording back in the 80s. And, you know, he's had over 75 million albums sold, which is really cool. And then since the 90s, though, he's been subject to a number of allegations of sexual abuse and misconduct, often with underage girls. Now, in 2002, he was indicted on 13 counts of child pornography, but was acquitted of all charges in 2008. He was recently dropped by his label, RCA Records, because they realized that there's so much surrounding this guy that they don't want that on their label, which I can't blame them. It was said, though, that when he was 27, he married 15-year-old Alea, which is a former artist, I believe, that died in a plane crash. But he married her illegally on August 31st, 1994. He's 27. She's 15. Now, Alea admitted, or at least stated, she told R. Kelly she was 18. So she is trying to say that she lied to R. Kelly, when it was kind of obvious that she was under 18 at the time, even when you look at her pictures. Her tour manager admitted that he facilitated the wedding and obtained falsified identification for Alea so that she could get married. And then their marriage was annulled February 1995, and her parents forced that annulment. Now, R. Kelly has been charged several times and tried based on videos and photos that prosecutors allege show him engaging in unlawful sexual acts with minors. But none of the charges have ever resulted in convictions. Now, it is said that all these people took some type of agreement or payment and then all of a sudden dropped their charges. I don't know how accurate that is, but it seems to be kind of like a celebrity thing, you know, that we've seen. It was reported July 17, 2017, that Kelly was accused by 3 sets of parents of holding their daughters in an abusive cult. And then R. Kelly and the alleged victims deny all these allegations. Then Kelly was again accused of misconduct April 17, 2018 by a former partner of his who claimed that Kelly intentionally infected her with an STD. In January 2019, just this year, a woman named Asante McGee, I hope I said her name right, whom Kelly had met in 2014 and taken to live with him some months later, said that she lived with not only R. Kelly alone, but several other women. In 2019, Lifetime aired a 6-part documentary series detailing sexual abuse and misconduct allegations against Kelly. They did that on February 22nd. So the Cook County State's Attorney's Office charged R. Kelly with 10 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. The charges allege from 1998 to 2010, Kelly sexually abused 4 females. 3 of them were teen minors at the time of the evidence. Now, the evidence also includes video that allegedly shows some of the crimes. Kelly turned himself in on the day the charges were announced. The judge set a $1 million bond. Now, Kelly pled not guilty, which is common. And he pled guilty to all the charges and was able to post bail. Now, just recently, and you've probably seen bits and pieces of it, on March 6th, Kelly appeared on CBS This Morning, hosted by Gayle King, and insisted he was innocent, blaming the social media for all of his allegations. And, you know, I watched the interview, and I was really impressed on how well Gayle King got him to talk, and she kept her cool and did not let him bully her or belittle her in any way. She kept her composure so well. So great job, Gayle King. But then I noticed that he immediately started playing the victim card. And he really had some strange, crazy outbursts like, they're killing me, man. You don't know what it's like. They're killing me. They're trying to assassinate me. I mean, he gets up and he has these outbursts like, wow. I mean, I don't know if he was on something or if that's his way of really just trying to resonate that he is the victim. Now, from what I've read and from what I've heard from other interviews about people talking about the interviews, people that do these types of crimes automatically try to make themselves the victim when they're actually exposed. So I'm not exactly sure how 100% accurate that is, but that would sound like it would be something like that. But just watching him, okay, I felt that he was guilty. That was my opinion. Now, she asked him, have you ever had sex with a minor? And he says, no, absolutely not. Now, we know this was a lie because he married Alea when she was 15. Now, isn't that a minor? Now, I'm pretty sure after they got married, they did what they did, you know, because that's what you kind of do when you get married. Just saying. Sorry for those of you that don't when you get married, but, you know, it's common. But there's plenty of videos on that. Now, the problem is there's so much technology out there that he's able to argue that these are Photoshopped, these are not real, you know, and in this day and age, and I'm not picking on any women at all, but this day and age, sometimes you just can't tell an age of a woman. Same with a guy. And, you know, so it might just be his best bet to say, let me see your ID and make sure that it's legit. Maybe even take a picture of it with that person. I don't know. But he says that all this stuff happens to him because he has such a big heart that he wears his heart in his sleeve and he's trying to help out so many people. Now, he was asked if he had a cult going or he was holding women against their will in his house. And he said, why would I be so dumb to do that and come on this show? Why would I do that? I'm R. Kelly. I don't need to do that. So I don't know. I mean, it just didn't sound right to me. Now, the R. Kelly train, that's what I'm calling this whole deal, the R. Kelly train, didn't stop there. Okay, so right after the interview, as he's leaving, he's taken into custody for failure to pay $161,000 in child support and was thrown in jail. Now, he acted as if he got out right away because he had some money, but then the judge at that point said, you're not getting out unless you pay your full child support all at once. So then he has a friend that remained anonymous, that they're not allowing to make his name public, pay his support up to get him out of jail. So now he's out again. So what I don't get is the obsession with teenagers. I mean, don't get me wrong, this guy's a big name. I'm pretty sure that he can get all kinds of women of all ages, but I don't know why it has to be teenagers for him. I mean, I think he's absolutely sick in his head. He's 49, okay, currently has a 19-year-old girlfriend. Okay, now her parents are saying that she's being held against her will in this cult. She came out on the news saying she's not being held against her will, that she loves R. Kelly and they have a real thing. Now, there's all kinds of psychologists that say victims can believe that they are in love and there's pure love and all that. I don't know. I mean, again, I believe in innocent until proven guilty, but then, even though we're sure that there's guilt, we can't push that on somebody unless it's actually proven. I mean, we can have our point of views. Now, I think it takes advantage of the obsession that these teenage girls have on him. I really do. And I just think R. Kelly is a sick man, and it's finally caught up to him. But then again, innocent until proven guilty. All right. Now we're going to talk about cousin love. So we've got cousins. Okay, this one's odd. This is really odd. But the question, I guess, should be starting off, should first cousins be allowed to marry? Angie and Michael Lee of Utah got married, but Utah does not allow it the way they were married. They went to Colorado to marry, where it's legal in Colorado to marry your first cousin. They know that their love, and I'm putting my little quotes in my finger, I still do that even though I'm on the radio with you guys. Their love is taboo. Now, they say they reunited after 10 years of being apart, and then they were both single again, and they realized how much they loved each other. They said that it's okay. We know it's crazy. We're adults. We're single. We're just going to go for it. Who cares what our family thinks? That's what they were saying. And they say it's true love. Love. True love. I can't even say it like that guy from that movie. Anyways. It's love. True love. Yeah, there we go. Anyways. Michael, the husband, said, no one I've ever been with will make me feel as perfect as she does. Her being my cousin, and some of the responses, is a small price to pay. So, marriage of first cousins is generally allowed in 19 states. Utah does allow first cousin marriage if both spouses are over the age of 65, or if they're 55 and they can prove they're infertile. So, I will cover what the state laws for first cousin marriages is in just a bit. There are some states that do allow it, and I'll kind of cover that with you. So, if the Lees plan on having children, their children could face a slightly higher risk of birth defects. That's one of the reasons why it's so taboo. According to a report from Popular Science, the average child born, not first cousin stuff, just the average child born, has a 3 to 4% risk of birth defects. But for children of first cousin, that risk increases 4 to 7%. And it says that is because cousins share at least 12.5% of their DNA with each other. Now, it's estimated that 20% of all couples worldwide are actually first cousins. Now, Albert Einstein, for one, he married his first cousin, and as did Charles Darwin. Both of them had exceptionally smart children. Franklin D. Roosevelt, the longest-serving U.S. president in history, married his cousin. Wasn't a first cousin, but nevertheless, it was a cousin. It's likely, and I'm probably going to get chewed on by the religious groups and people out there, but it's likely that Mary and Joseph, Jesus' earthly parents, were actually first cousins. Now, if you really want to go it, technically, we are all cousins if you go by the Bible. No two people are more distantly related than 50th cousins. So if you think about it, Adam and Eve were technically the first parents, and then it breaks down. So eventually, we're all related, in a sense, at least 50th cousins. So you Pappy followers, my Pappy army are my family. We're my cousins. Pappy cousins. Hashtag Pappy cousins. Edgar Allan Poe, he married his first cousin when he was 27 and she was only 13. H.G. Wells, he married his first cousin. Jerry Lee Lewis married his first cousin when she was only 13. Jesse James, the famous outlaw, he married his first cousin. Rudy Giuliani from New York married his second cousin. He thought it was his third cousin, but come to find it was his second cousin. So, I mean, you can see that it's not uncommon through history, and a lot of it say it's due to keeping pure blood in the family. And then if you want to go the whole Game of Thrones thing, it's not even cousins, it's sister and brother stuff. So that's even worse. Now, there are states that allow first cousin marriage. Alabama, Alaska, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Washington, D.C., Florida, Georgia, Hawaii, Maryland, Massachusetts, New Jersey, New Mexico, New York, North and South Carolina, Tennessee, Vermont, and Virginia. So that's a lot of states that are okay with no restrictions. First cousins can marry. Now, there are states that say you got to be over 65 or 55 and infertile. Arizona, Illinois, Indiana, and Utah. Now, Wisconsin says only if the woman is permanently sterile and over 55. So it's still weird. Now, what's really interesting, too, is some of these states that allow first cousin marriage don't allow first cousin sex. But they're okay with first cousin marriage, so I don't get how they regulate that. And I don't know how they really determine if they are first cousins unless it's a question in the application, or if they're still doing blood tests and they realize they have a lot of DNA that matches. I'm not exactly sure. But I know I'm from Ohio, so everybody remembers that. And I admit, a lot of people say us backwoods people are married to our cousins. Yeah, that's not true. And besides, you didn't see Kentucky, West Virginia, and Ohio in there. I'm just saying. I love my cousins dearly. I really do. And I grew up with female cousins, playing with them all the time. I couldn't see myself marrying them. Okay, but maybe somebody like them, personality-wise, or there's traits that they have that I like that I think would be good for a wife. I mean, I firmly believe love is a feeling of completeness, happiness, and knowing you're wanted. So it's not for me to say Angie and Michael really aren't in love, and some of these other first cousins that get married aren't in love. It's not for me to say who they can and cannot love. So Angie and Michael, good luck to you in your marriage. You guys are still weird. That's Pappy's word. All right, so we have a Chandler, Arizona school that had a protest, okay, over MAGA clothing and a Trump banner. Now, they had a party in the USA Spirit Day recently, and some of the students wore MAGA, Make America Great Again attire, and had a Trump banner. They were told to put the banner away and remove their MAGA gear. So they did put their banner away for the day, and then after school, they wanted to take some more pictures, but they refused to take off their MAGA gear. School officials say they did not ask them to remove their MAGA stuff. And then the principal stated the issue was not political viewpoints, but about maintaining a safe campus. Now, again, after school, they brought all that stuff back out and they were taking pictures. A resource officer asked the students to leave campus. The district states one of the students became vulgar. The following Monday, now this happened on a Friday, the following Monday, 40 to 50 people rallied for the students' First Amendment rights outside the school. Now, there was no prior notification when they announced Party in the USA Spirit Day that MAGA gear or political gear was not allowed. Now, what I find funny is the principal claims it's about a safe campus, but I'm not sure how wearing MAGA gear makes a campus unsafe. The school claims they did not say anything until the end of the day, when students refused to identify who they were. Now we have our Arizona's Attorney General is actually considering investigating to see if any First Amendment rights were violated. Because if you think about it, if you're going to have a day and you're going to only allow certain things, then you need to put those regulations, restrictions on paper and make sure everybody knows. Simple as that. But what's interesting, and I doubt it's connected, but this happened nearly 50 years to the day after the U.S. Supreme Court sided with students who were suspended after wearing black armbands to school protesting the Vietnam War. Now, in the landmark Tinker versus Des Moines Independent Community School District decision, the court said that students don't shed their constitutional rights to freedom of speech or expression at the school house gate. The justices wrote that there were times when school administrators could suppress speech, not completely take away, but suppress speech, when it materially disrupts classwork or involves substantial disorder or invasion of the rights of others. But wearing MAGA gear does not. Now, if the school, again, was not going to allow MAGA gear, they should have released guidelines. No political clothing, because it can't just be no MAGA gear. You have to follow all political parties, no political gear. Maybe just U.S. flags, Eagles, freedom, that stuff, but nothing political. Just something that says USA. That might have been different, but I don't think a kid in a MAGA hat makes somebody dangerous. Now, if it made somebody uncomfortable, that would probably be because they get butthurt over everything. So I'm just saying. Now we got a new neo-Nazi leader. Well, not we. Let me make that straight. Not we. There is a new neo-Nazi leader. Okay. Let's see here. This guy. Okay, so without notifying his followers or even his inner circle, the longtime president of a legacy neo-Nazi group handed his organization to a black civil rights activist from California named Jeff Schoep. Oh, no, not named Jeff. So Jeff Schoep, S-C-H-O-E-P. I'm just going to call him Jeff. Jeff led the neo-Nazi group for over 24 years. Now, James Stern, the 54-year-old that took over, is the new president of the National Socialist Movement, a group whose members wear uniforms reminiscent of those worn in Nazi Germany. So Stern's first move as president was to ask for a Virginia judge to find the organization guilty of conspiring to commit violence in the deadly Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville in 2017. Next, he plans to transform the hate group's website, visited by millions of white supremacists each year, into a space for Holocaust history lessons. Now, Jeff, the former leader, sent out a lengthy statement to his followers saying he had been deceived by Stern, who convinced him that in order to protect membership from an ongoing lawsuit, he should sign over the NSN's National Socialist Movement, the presidency, to Stern. But then people want to know how Stern and the former leader knew each other. So, while serving time in prison in Mississippi for wire fraud, Stern, the new leader, said he befriended his cellmate and one-time KKK Grand Wizard Edgar Ray Killian, who had been convicted in the 1964 killing of 3 civil rights workers. Now, Stern stated Killian regularly called him racial slurs. Nevertheless, he granted his cellmate Stern power of attorney over his life story and estate. Stern was paroled from prison in 2011. So in 2016, he said he used his legal discretion per the power of attorney to dissolve the Klan organization that Killian was in charge of. Now, in 2014, Stern says that the former leader reached out to him to inquire about his relationship with Killian, who died in 2018. The former leader denies that account, saying that Stern made first contact on recommendation of Killian. They then met for a race relations summit in California, where representatives from both organizations met with together to talk about ways they can work together without violence. Now, the two described fostering a strange kind of relationship over time, though both of them tell the story differently. The goal of Stern was to always to change the former leader's mind. In early 2019, Stern said that the former leader came to him for legal advice on the lawsuit. Now, this lawsuit was filed in 2017 by Charlottesville counter-protester against the NSM and other white nationalist groups. Stern said that the former leader was looking for a way out. He was worried about the cost of the lawsuit, was frustrated with the organization, and weighing the possibility about leaving the NSM altogether. And then the former leader was underappreciated by his followers. So that's when Stern saw a crack in the former leader's so-called armor. So he encouraged the former leader to get a fresh start by handing Stern control of the NSM and website. Stern said by making him president in official documents and signing a sworn affidavit, with some convincing, he got the former leader to say yes. Now, former leader denies that whole story. He said that he only signed over the group because Stern had convinced him that the ownership change would get the lawsuit dismissed immediately. In mid-January, the former leader filed incorporation paperwork with Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs to formally transfer the NSM to Stern. Now, it remains unclear how the NSM will be able to maintain its organizational infrastructure with Stern legally at the helm of the corporation. In his statement, the former leader said he intends to challenge the ownership. Now, talk about some shady stuff, but I have no love for the organization and one that spreads violence. I don't tolerate those, but I'm not exactly sure how this is going to play out, or if this is going to be something that's going to end up in court. I think it's just really crazy, but you would never, or at least I never thought that I would ever hear of a black man taking over a neo-Nazi group. So all in all, I've got to applaud Stern for getting himself up in there. So that was kind of an interesting thing. So now, this is what I'm excited about right here. Star Wars Land at Disney California is set to open. I feel like dancing. All right. So I don't know about you, but I'm excited as hell. Star Wars Land. It's opening soon. Disney California is set to open Star Wars Land May 31st. Now, Florida Disney is going to be opening as well, but they're not going to open until August 29th. Now, there's a couple rides out there that I'm excited about that are involved with Star Wars Land. One of them is Rise of the Resistance, but that one won't be open until later this year. And that one is a cinematic experience said to be an awesome ride, and it involves the newer movies that have come out, but details are still under wraps on that one. So, but then we've got Smuggler's Run, where you pilot the Millennium Falcon on a cargo mission, and it's said that there's 100+ foot long movie perfect Falcon that can be viewed at all angles in the park. Now, as a crew of 6, you fly the Falcon. So that, I think that's pretty interesting. That's exciting. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be like a kid in there screaming and hollering and whooping and all kinds of stuff. Now, the buildings are also going to resemble areas like Mos Eisley and other Star Wars planets and locations. And then there's going to be animatronic droids, creatures that are acting out, special effects, and actors who will embody local characters acting like this is their home. There will be features using the Disney Play app that you could download on your phone where you can hack open doors, translate alien languages, and receive missions and messages from characters. And then there's going to be vendors that are going to be throughout this area that are going to act as if they were officially part of the Star Wars universe. And then we're going to have Star Wars food. That's right. We're going to have Cadu sticky ribs. It's the animal that Jar Jar Binks was riding during the fight in episode 1. Yes. And those are actually pork ribs, but Cadu sticky ribs. Then we have fried Andorian tip-yip chicken. Then we're going to have blue milk, just like we saw Luke Skywalker drinking in A New Hope. And green milk, straight from The Last Jedi. Now, I'm not sure about blue milk and green milk, but just sounds a little for me. Then there's going to be tons of other foods and drinks and plenty of alcoholic drinks for us older fans. We're going to also see stores that allow you to hand-build lightsabers and hand-built droids. Oh my. I'm excited. I'm excited. 14 acres of Star Wars. And I can't wait. But if you're planning on visiting during the summer, from what they're saying now is you need to make a no-cost reservation. So you actually have to reserve your time in. Now, I'm probably not going to go until October, November. For me, because it's cooler. I hate being out there in the hot. Plus, it's a little slower. So it looks like my plans for my Disney trip is definitely going to happen. Now, they also said that not to worry, that the original Star Tours is not going away. So I'm excited. I don't know about you. I mean, I might get on my Jedi robe and walking around like I'm Mr. Pappy Jedi. So it's going to be fun. All right, so that was my big topics for this episode. Now, the story of my week. So those of you that don't know me know that I like to wear shirts that say sometimes funny things, sometimes patriotic things, or, kind of things that make you go, what the heck is wrong with that man? Okay, and I have one that says, Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. Okay, Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn is Finkel. Now, if you're catching that already, you're probably pretty old. But give you kind of a story. So I had a lady at the grocery ask me, who's Ray Finkel? And I replied, oh, he's Einhorn. And then she asked, who's Einhorn? I said, well, Einhorn's Finkel. So she starts to look confused. And then I said, have you ever heard about the kid who heard around the world? And she goes, no, I haven't. And I explained, well, listen, 1985 Super Bowl, the Dolphins versus the 49ers. He missed the winning field goal, and the 49ers won. He was dropped by the team, and then nobody wanted him. And he blamed Dan Marino because the laces were in the wrong place. And she's shaking her head like she's getting it. And I said, well, then the 1995 Super Bowl, the Dolphins returned. Snowflake, the team's mascot, the dolphin, was kidnapped. Later to be found out that it was Lieutenant Einhorn of the police department, which she also kidnapped Dan Marino. And she's really like getting into this, like, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this lady's weird. And then I said, then it was actually found out that Lieutenant Einhorn was actually Ray Finkel that had a sex change. And so therefore Finkel is Einhorn, Einhorn's Finkel. And she's like, oh, okay. And I said, well, there's a great movie that talks about it. And so she gets even more interested. Her eyes kind of peek up. And I said, it's called Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. And she literally just looked at me, shook her head, and walked away. But hey, I kept her on for a long time on that one. I should have said there was a great autobiography or this historical, movie that you can watch. I should have brought it a little bit that way. So, but that was funny. I really enjoyed that one. I laughed about that, and as I was putting it together, writing it down so I could remember it, I just couldn't stop laughing. All right, so my random thoughts of the week. Now, apparently, I've been told my random thoughts are probably one of the best parts of the show. I think the whole thing, and just my voice and Pappyisms are, awesome. So my random thoughts. Did you know an apple a day will keep anyone away if you throw it at them hard enough? Just saying. And a girl is mad when she starts off her sentence saying, I just find it funny how, because there's a 99.9% chance she's pissed off. It's a trap. Just saying. Okay, my security thought of the week. Now, this is actually something because I'm planning on going out of town in the next few weeks, and I see this a lot on Facebook. People, or not just Facebook, but social media in general, people are posting about their vacations, and it's always fun to do. But then, you're trying to show your friends what you're doing and how much fun you're having. But then, at the same time, you're telling people, I'm not home. My home is vacant. Come rob my home. And so you're making yourself vulnerable to crime. Okay? So there's things that we could do that I suggest. And I tell people to battle this. And I do this particular topic when I teach home safety classes. It is... post your pictures when you get back. Wait. Or maybe even put light timers inside your house to turn your lights on and off at night to give the appearance that you're home. Or have somebody stop by, check your windows and doors, make sure that you don't have any Amazon packages or leaflets or anything left on your door or newspapers left out, because that's always a sign that somebody might not be home. Now, I want to give a little bit of a shout out to Alex Trebec. Okay, everybody knows Alex Trebec is the iconic host of Jeopardy. He recently announced that he has stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Okay, now pancreatic cancer affects 50,000 people in the U.S. every year, and it has a very, very low survival rate. And according to the American Cancer Society, about 56,570 people should be diagnosed with it this year alone, and about 45,750 of them will die. So my prayers are out to you, Mr. Trebec. Fight this. You are iconic, and I really do love Jeopardy as well. I do wish you the best. And to close up the show today, I just want to say, don't forget to download our new apps on Google Play and iTunes. You can find it Happy Hour. And we can also be found on YouTube under Ryan is Pappy. And again, we have our video series coming soon. So, and don't forget, keep your eyes out for iHeart Radio. We are coming live from there too as well. So take care of each other. Have a wonderful day.
We don't like our traditions. You say we've done you wrong. Why don't you pack up your bags and take your ass back home? This is my home, and son, I'm mad as hell. I think whooping your ass is worth a couple nights in jail. There's a million pissed off rednecks just like me, and we're all sick and tired of this bullshit called PC. I guess you didn't know, but you don't mess with generally. If you have a right to burn my flag, then I have a right to kick your ass.